Welcome back everyone to my Animal Crossing New Horizons series, part 9. Now I think I can't really say this is day 9 because I have been switching up the days a bit more. But here we are today. As usual, we do have Tom right here with his announcement, but let's see if he has anything new. Now, here's a small recap of the series. I know that it has been quite a few days since I had got a chance to actually upload this one. So, the last episode, we actually created 3 new houses and we also provided the furnishings, that is, the interior and exterior furnitures. Once all the house was created, each house had its villager actually assigned to it. So, we do know the villagers that we are gonna get, and the very first one that's coming in is actually Nate. Normally, I do really like the bear villagers, but Nate is a bit weird in this one. I think the villager is pretty cute, but the color scheming is a bit weird for me. So I think that's the whole gist of Nate right there. But of course, I'm happy that we have this villager in my island. Hopefully, I do get the others coming in as well. The next thing that Tom Nook actually mentioned in the announcement is about the customization workshop. So this one is pretty cool and definitely helpful, especially if you want an item to be in a particular shade of color. I think this is very helpful. Other than that, of course, I'll be going around and doing the normal daily tasks. I'm not going to do this every single day. I think I'll be doing it for the beginning, at least until we do get the 3-star island. The very first thing I definitely wanted to do is check out Nate's house. I know that he's still going to be in boxes, but it's still pretty cool. Alright, here he is. As far as you can see, his coloring scheme is very weird. I mean, yellow and green is definitely not what I would have gone for, but that is Nate's color right here. Although I do have to say I really like his house design though. I mean, it's super unique and definitely will kind of go with the theme I'm trying to go for. I'm also still trying to see if I can get a chance to check out Flo's house. If you didn't know, I have not yet been able to go into her house, so it's been pretty troubling. Here she is, of course. It seems like she is actually missing her blue crayon. These villages definitely do have some weird dialogues time to time, and it's pretty funny to kind of go ahead and talk to them. At this point, I also realized that I had to actually give a gift to Flo right here, so I just went ahead and came back. Bought a few items from my house which I think I can actually give away. So let's quickly go ahead and give one of the items to her. I actually had a cartoonist set which I'll actually go ahead and give to Flo just because she mentioned her blue crayons which she actually missed. I think she will actually appreciate this one. Of course, she gives me a hand card which is a really cool item. I think I really like it, so I'll go ahead and keep it for my house. But of course, we still do have quite a few things to do today. It seems like Harvey here is also visiting our island, which is pretty nice. Recently, I got to know that Harvey also has some additional things in his island, which we can actually go ahead and visit. For some reason, I did not actually do this in my last island, so I definitely want to try it here. Let's quickly talk to him. Of course, he is actually going to go ahead and invite us to his island, which we can actually go ahead and check out once we go to the airport. But sadly, I won't be able to do it today. Maybe we can do it in a future episode. We actually have quite a few things we can actually do in his island regarding the photos or the shops that we can actually get in the future. So definitely I'm excited for that one. But for now, I'll, as usual, go ahead and talk to all of my villagers. Let me quickly talk to Mac right here. Alright, it seems like we might get a recipe today. This is something that your villagers will do from time to time, and they might give you a recipe for the food or a recipe to just craft as an item. In this case, it's a recipe to craft an item, which is pretty nice. It's a mountain standee. I wonder if I can actually use it, but either way, I am happy to actually take this recipe. I'm hoping in the future we'll get some really good ones. I remember that in my last island I had some really good recipes just given to me by my villagers. So I'm hoping the same is gonna happen here as well. As usual, I will go ahead and gift him something. In this case, since they are the starter villages, they don't really have too much items in their house. So if you do give them anything, they'll go ahead and display it, which is pretty nice. And he gives me a snowflake sweater in return. Pretty nice. Let me actually wear it. Alright, I think I like this one. I'll go ahead and keep it. Right. There we go. We have learned the mountain standee as well. I actually had a package from yesterday, which is a garden faucet. I think I have a place to actually keep it. Probably it is gonna go for one of these villages. Recently, I have been focusing on decorating my island with items that you can actually place. I think this garden faucet will go pretty well with Mac's house, so I'm just gonna keep it right here. I have been thinking about Flo's house and I have quite a few items I do want to place, but I haven't really been able to actually find them. So if I do find them, or if a villager actually gives that item to me, I'll go ahead and place it right next to her house. It's quite important to do this because this will actually increase the, I guess, stars that you'll get during evaluation. So definitely very helpful. Initially, I wanted to keep the handcart right next to my house. I decided to try it in front of the shop, which didn't look that better either. So finally, I did find a spot for it. It's right next to these flowers. I think it gives a garden kind of look, so definitely pretty cool. Alright, now that we have this item right here, the next thing I can do is bring out a couple other items that I have, which I can actually place on the outside as well. Now I did come back here hoping that Flo will actually go into her house. Unfortunately, it's not the case. So I guess I really have to wait for her to be inside her house when I open the game. I did try talking to the door. It still says, hey, I'm out. But right here, Flo actually called me, so it's pretty cool. Randomly, your villagers can actually go ahead and give you an item, which is what actually happened right here. And this is something they'll do in the beginning of the game when you are trying to improve your island. In my case, I got an item from Mac before, so this is pretty cool that Flo is also giving me another item. Let's see what it's gonna be. If it's something cool, I'll go ahead and place it right next to her house. Ooh, okay. It's a springy ride-on. Not something I would have expected, but I think it's a perfect one to kind of place right next to her house. So this is where it's gonna go. It also has a weird coloring scheme again. I'm not really sure about yellow and green. I never liked those two colors together, but I guess this is what it's gonna be right here. I've also completed a Nook Mile task, so let me quickly claim it as well. As far as the Nook stop goes, I have seen that there are quite a few items that I have to buy, but I don't think I have enough Nook Miles for them, so I'm just gonna wait for a bit more. Now that we have talked to both of our villages, let me actually make my way to the main tent and see what Tom Nook has to say as well. After all, he did talk about the customization DIY. It's gonna be another small DIY session, so probably we do have to craft an item for this. Now, I don't usually customize an item unless I don't really like its color. For example, the springy ride-on that's outside that I've just placed, I think I might try the customization on it. But other than that, usually I really like the item colors and don't really have to use this. The only time you might actually use customization is on your tools, so it does not actually break. But the customization kit that you do get is quite costly, so you do have to be a bit careful about it. In this case, let me quickly check out Nook's stop before I actually talk to him. He apparently wants us to have a wooden wardrobe before we can actually start the customization workshop. And unfortunately, I really don't have it with me right now, so I do have to craft it as well. Checking out the Nook stop, we have Nintendo Switch here available. Unfortunately, I won't be able to buy it since I don't really have too much bells to actually spend. At some point, I will go ahead and buy it if it's available on a different date. I also went ahead and bought another pipe. If you remember, I only had one of them and I need another one to kind of go ahead and use it. Other than that, the other items are just the same, nothing really new in this. You know what, since we are here, I will actually check out the items that you can get by spending the Nook miles. The first thing I bought was actually the tool ring. This is definitely very helpful if you are in the initial of the game. So if you do see it in your Nook stop, I would definitely recommend going ahead and buying it. Now you might have seen me speed up the video right here. It's just because the dialogues in this game is super slow and each of these tasks kind of take around a minute, so I just want to keep it pretty fast. The next one is the pretty good tools recipe. This one will give you the recipe for axe, shovel and all of the other important items. So definitely worth buying them even though it's a bit costlier. I also want to check out the fence items that we can buy because some of the fences are pretty cool and I do want to have them to kind of, I guess, add to the beauty of the island. I also bought the snorkel, which is pretty cool. It does come as a set for the swimsuit that you can actually buy. So since I did have the swimsuit, I went ahead and bought this one. The final thing I bought was the Custom Design Pro Editor. This one is helpful if you do want to check out some custom designs that others have made to kind of add it to your island, which I, by the way, will be doing. After all, the best path recipes or the best path custom designs are actually found in the internet, so probably very helpful if you do have your online membership for this one. Other than that, here are all the new recipes that I was able to get. As you can see, we have the axe, shovel, net as well as the fishing rod, which are much more durable and definitely very helpful while you're in the initial of the game. Now that we have all the items I need, I can finally go ahead and craft that wooden wardrobe that Nook was actually talking about and go further with the customization workshop. Now, since I am crafting the wooden wardrobe, I'll go ahead and craft a couple other items such as the axe and shovel, which are very important. While checking out the storage in my house, I just realized that I don't have any of these crafting items anymore. I mean, this is the last bit of items I'm actually having. So if I do use them all up, probably I do have to go around cutting down a couple of different trees and rocks to get more wood. Alright, there we go. Once again, I have just gone ahead and sped it up just because it takes so much time to kind of complete each of these actions. And I really wish that we had a speed up button in this game. Especially when you are going through a complete different scenario where you have multiple dialogues going through and it's just annoying to just sit there and go through it pretty slowly. I mean, again, if you do have time, it is a pretty nice game and it's pretty relaxing for me as well. But sometimes I feel like the dialogues are excessive, especially when you are talking to blathers in the museum. Either way, it's definitely a really cool game and definitely worth, taking your time and going through it. Now, before going back to the main tent, I did decide to go ahead and check out the shop. We haven't yet checked this one out today and I definitely want to see what items we have here. Alright, some of the items are pretty cool, especially the sofa. You know what, once again, it's a yellow color and I really wish it was either brown or dark black. That would have looked so much cooler than this yellow one. Probably if you have a yellow wallpaper, this might look good in the room. But since mine is actually a red one, this might look a bit weird. I could try customizing it though, now that we have the customization workshop. But for now, I'll keep it as it is. And on a later stage, when I am actually organizing my house and clearing up the items that are actually present, maybe I'll go ahead and do that. But I do have to say, the mini cactus set is pretty cute. I definitely will go ahead and buy multiple of these just because I can actually use them for outdoors as well as indoors. I think there is also another recipe which uses the mini cactus set to go ahead and create a garden. I actually don't remember the name of that recipe, but if I do find it, I'll go ahead and show you guys the recipe. It's a pretty cute one, and I definitely remember having it in my previous island. It is definitely very rare, but I might be able to find it in a later stage of the game. While I was making my way to the main tent, I went ahead and set all the tools into the tool ring, which is a really easy way to kind of access your tool. You can just quickly go ahead and I think click on the left button in your left controller to easily access it, which is very helpful if you are, trying to take down a balloon gift. In that case, it's pretty fast. Now that we have the wooden wardrobe, I just went ahead and talked to Tom Nook. Let's see what he has to say. Once again, we do have to select the About That Workshop option. And this time, the customization will actually start. Pretty nice. He's also going to give us a customization kit, which will actually allow us to go ahead and paint the wardrobe in different colors. As you can see, there are a variety of them for a wardrobe, and I just went with the one that I really liked. You can of course go ahead and try this for other items as well. Any items that you do get from the shop or any items that you craft yourself. And you can go ahead and buy the customization kit in the shop, which is pretty helpful. Now that this is complete, let me quickly go ahead and decorate my island a bit more. If you remember, I did buy multiple of the mini cactus set. So I'll go ahead and place some of them just around here. Now, I was hoping that the cactus set would be in the middle of this table, but unfortunately it's in the side. Probably that's not a really good place for me to actually place it. But this one looks definitely pretty cool. I'll also go ahead and arrange the items in my house to make it look a bit better since we do have a sofa and another table. Alright, there we go. This is my house and this is what it's gonna be from now. At least until we are able to get another room, of course. I think the items look pretty good. There are a couple of them I do want to get rid of, which I might do at a later stage. But for now, this place looks pretty cool. While checking my map, I came to know that we have another special villager or a special character on our island. In this case, it's actually Red, who will actually sell us art. This is pretty fun because I'll be able to finally start my art museum. Now the one thing is, if you do get him for the first time, you have to actually find him and talk to him before you make your way to his ship, which is right here in your secret cove. As per usual, the secret cove is pretty far from where you are and it will take you quite a few minutes to actually go through there. Unfortunately, I haven't really found out where he is, so I do have to talk to him before I can actually come back. And this is only for the first time. Now if you have already talked to him before, you can directly make your way to his ship and go ahead and check out his art. Do be careful, he can actually sell you fake art, so go ahead, check out which one is the real one and only buy them. There are definitely many guides in the internet to kind of check out which art is real and which one is fake. So go ahead and check it out first and then buy the art. If you do buy a fake one, definitely Plathers will not actually accept it. So you're kind of stuck with it. You could of course gift it to your villager, but again, I think it's better to go ahead and get the real one. After looking around for quite some time, I was finally able to find him. He was quite close to my airport, so I am not sure how I missed them the first time. But of course, here he is. And if you do talk to him, he tells us that he is going to give us a cousin discount, which means that he will sell it pretty cheap. Now, he does sell us two different kinds of art. The first one is the paintings and the other one is a statue. You do have to buy both of them to fill them up in your museum. I think there are at least around 50 of these items. So you do have to kind of, get him to our island for 50 times to actually buy them. Of course, you can only buy one art piece, so make sure you are buying the real one. if you are able to actually find him on your island. Personally, I really like to check out my map. The map that appears in the right side bottom of your screen will actually tell you if he's there. If he is there, you'll be able to see an icon for it, and that's the way you'll be able to know that he has come to the island. In my case, let me quickly make my way there. After all, this is the very first one that I'm actually finding. So I'm interested to see what art pieces that he'll actually have. Once you enter his ship, you'll be able to see multiple art items. In this case, we have 4 paintings. He's also gonna sell around 2 items in his ship which are unique. I think I'll go ahead and buy them as well. If you do have a friend's island that you can actually visit, you can go ahead and visit them. But one thing that I've seen is that if you do have bread in your island for that day and you've already gone ahead and purchased a art, you can't really purchase it once again in another island. So I would definitely recommend, if you are going to check out a art from your friend's island, then go ahead and switch in your dates to make sure you don't have any art purchased that day from bread. In my case, as you can see, I bought both the items, and you can actually buy multiple of them, so you don't have to really worry about buying only one. Now that we have that bought, I'll quickly check out all of the paintings, and any one of them that is actually real, I'll go ahead and buy them. While buying a art or a painting, I really like to take a closer look. You can go ahead and select that option to check it out before you actually buy it. This is an easier way to kind of see if it's the real one. In this case, this painting is actually real, so I went ahead and bought it. Now, if you do buy a fake one by accident, you can go ahead and still hang it in your house. That will be helpful as a decoration as well, so don't worry about it. At this point, I also had a couple of Nook milestones completed, which is pretty helpful. We do of course have to wait one day to kind of get the art, so you won't have it right away. I think the only thing left for us to do now in this episode is probably go ahead and talk to Blathers, since I haven't yet gone ahead and donated my fossils. Unfortunately, I was only able to find 4 fossils, so that is what I'm going to be donating. Sometimes I feel like I do miss one by accident, or some other days it's just hidden too well for me to actually find it. But of course, let me see if we can actually donate all these 4 of them. If not, I can also go ahead and sell them in the shop. In this case though, it seems like we have at least one of them that we can actually donate. Pretty cool. I think we are almost halfway through this fossil museum, so I'm pretty excited to kind of complete it. And yep, we have 2 out of the 4, which is pretty helpful. The other 2 will help me with the bells, since I do need some. And I guess we have completed everything that we had for today. We did complete our DIY recipe workshop. We also went ahead and met Nate, who is our new villager for this island. We also got a chance to go ahead and talk to Red today. That means we'll finally be able to get more art for our art museum. And I have completed my daily tasks, so that is all for today. In the next episode, we'll go ahead and meet another new villager who we are gonna get. I'm also gonna be focusing more on the island beauty. Probably try to buy some items which I can actually place in the exterior and see if they actually go good with my island. At some point, I definitely do need to create some DIY recipes that I already have. There are quite a few items that are pretty good, which I did find in the Nook stop, so I might have to buy them as well. But of course, for now, that's all I had for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you'd like to support me more in a personal way, check out the links in my description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.